Welcome to the Calculus, a collection of micro lectures, video lessons, and sample exercises. Let's apply the differentiation rules in computing the derivative of this given function. Consider this next item here. We are still on the application of the already identified and proven rules of differentiation. For this given function here, we have f of x equal to, we have here 6x squared minus square root of x plus 3 over x squared. Now, it might look complicated. The suggestion here is to rewrite them into simpler concepts so that you would identify which rules you need to follow. I'm gonna tell you here, we're still going to use the first 4 rules. There is no rule here for quotient nor root, because we can rewrite them in this manner. F of x will still be 6x squared minus, you can have here x to the power of 1/2, because that's the equivalent for square root of x, and plus 3. As you have x squared in our denominator, you can always bring that up using the law of negative exponent. You have here x to the power of -2. Okay, hence we're still going to use here the idea of constant multiple power for this, and of course generally the sum of functions. So what I would like to do here is, of course, separate them. If you can answer this, then that's good, but just for illustration of this, let us separate them. Let's say g of x is 6x squared, so we're going to solve or find its derivative. So you will have here the constant multiple 6 times the power, okay, the idea of the power, times 2x2 minus 1, okay, which will give us a result equivalent to 12x to the power of 1, or simply 12x. Take note, this is constant multiple. You take out the constant or the scalar quantity here, or the coefficient, then you use the power for the second part. Now for our h of x, and this is very important to be guided, it includes the sign before, okay, because as mentioned in the proof for sum and difference, you can rewrite this as 6x squared plus negative x to the power of 1/2. You can do it like that. Not this one, sorry, negative of x to the power of 1/2. So this is still sum, so you are going to take the negative or the subtraction here as the sign for our next term. Let me erase this, and you will have here negative x to the power of 1/2. So by taking its first derivative, you will have here negative. You take out -1 using constant multiple, and using the power, you have here 1/2 x to the power of 1/2 minus 1. Okay, look into this, because this is a little bit not complicated, but we have another process for another step rather. So you will have here -1/2 x to the power of -1/2, right? But of course, negative exponent, we don't want that. You will have here -1/2, you have here times 1 over x to the power of 1/2, okay? Or you can multiply that, because we want positive exponents. So you have -1 over 2 x to the power of 1/2, where again 1/2 is for the square root, signifies root, specifically square root. Hence x prime of x is equal to -1 over 2 square root of x. Okay, so the other purpose of separating this is that we will have a different space for scribbles, because if we're going to apply that here, very complicated, as you will look into the final forms. And of course, this will be our, let's say, k of x, 3x to the power of -2. So k of x is 3, sorry, that's the 3k to the power of -2, sorry, 3x, my bad, 3x to the power of -2, constant multiple, power, hence 3 times -2 x to the power of -2 minus 1, okay, which will give you -6 x to the power of -3. Same thing here, applying the law of negative exponent, you will have here -6 over x cubed. This is your Okay, this is your k prime of x. So with all of this already identified and done on a separate sheet of paper according to the rule of differentiating sum or difference, the derivative of this is equal to the individual derivative of these functions, to which we already identified. For g prime of x, that's 12x. For our h prime of x, you have plus -1 over this one here, okay, this one, 2 square root of x, then plus, I'm using plus, don't worry about that, because you will still use the negatives here later, specifically this one here. So plus -6 over x cubed, which would be simplified to this final form, 12x minus 1 over 2 square root of x minus 6 over x cubed. This is now the final answer for this specific function, which involves square roots and even a rational expression here, where other rules still not needed in this case. Thank you very much for watching. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe now!